Start the recording. Can we have a roll call, please?
Kathy Schofield.
Lynn Roberts,
Dan Byer.
Janice? She go again?
She's gone.
Is she there? I see her
What?
number. Oh, there you are. Okay, we were just
Yeah.
doing a call to order for everybody from the commission that's on here. And we also have a couple of guests as well this evening. So
Okay.
that's fine. So, okay, I will open the meeting. It's 6:20. Firstly, I do apologize for the mess last week. That was my first time doing this agenda. And for some reason, the link just would not work. And I do know that Teams was out last week as well. So I don't know whether it was me or Teams, but I'm erring on the side of me. But we have it now and we're done. Did everybody get an opportunity to check the minutes?
Yes.
I did. Okay, Dan?
Yep.
Yep. Did anybody have any issues or any discussion on the minutes? No? Okay. I will make a motion to accept the minutes from, what was the date of that? Kathy? It was June
June 20th.
20th?
I will second that.
Okay, all in favor? Janice?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Lynn, yes. Kathy, yes. Okay. You minutes accepted unanimously. Dan, if you get, I know you're so busy. Will you be able to have time to post them?
Or you can show me how to do it.
Or yeah, I mean, I think you are so busy. It would help if, we can share the load a little bit. I mean, if I can do the agenda and figure that out and we can start the meetings, we can
Just
do a
'cause-
couple of other
Right.
things.
Once the meeting's over, it's out of sight, out of mind,
I know.
So if
Right.
you,
Well,
if
you're
you,
not-
I'll try to do them right now.
You mean you don't go to sleep at night dreaming about the minutes?
Do you want me to send you the
Sleep at night,
PDF
period.
approved?
If you can revise the PDF with the approval date, that would be
Yep.
cool. Because it's one less thing I have to
You
do.
need a date on the approval.
I think it's good to put in the minutes,
That's probably not a bad
approved
idea.
7/26,
Yeah.
just because I think it's helpful to be able to look back at that. Just, I say, if you have them all, if you can do, the last ones on the website are, January 3rd. So if you don't mind, if you have them all, if you just send them to me as PDFs.
Yep.
Then I can just zip.
You
all
have
up.
them, don't you? They've all gone.
I think
probably just have the
I
draft
think I
you sent.
sent them to you in.
Oh, but not approved.
Approved.
Either way, I'll do them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get them to you, Dan.
I just, like I said.
Alrighty. Okay, is there anybody, I know, Dan, you said you've got to go by 7. Are there any items that do we need to change the order in the agenda at all?
I'll stay for what I can.
Okay, if we need to change the order, if anybody has to leave, I know Connie's got work that she has to do. So we'll get through everything as quickly as we can and, anything that we can carry over, we will. Okay, item 3 on the agenda, local historic district. Expansion plans. We have not as yet, I think, well, I know we haven't had a meeting with the local historic district commission yet. So I will set one of those up. We are going to have a joint meeting with them in August. Should we make that the joint meeting?
Yeah,
Or we don't need to talk to them beforehand about anything, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we will have the joint meeting with them. If you can all check your calendars, the next meeting in August.
So just about meetings in general, we had a request, the select board would like to go back to Monday night.
I know, I spoke to Ellen.
So.
I was going to go over
And
that.
I think district is having some issues with Monday nights because I think Deb has a lot going on. So we might want to think about a new date in general.
Right.
Um,
So it looks that most of these meetings, like Mondays and Tuesdays seem to be like most used, I
Right,
think.
right.
Does anybody, Dan, you can't do Wednesdays, can you?
I can never do Wednesdays. ZBA is random Thursdays. Concom is the second and fourth Thursday. Planning is second and fourth Monday. Select board, I assume, will be first and third. I think the issue with Tuesdays was Tom worked late in Grafton.
Oh, okay, you can do Tuesday.
Ruth can't do Tuesdays for district, but that's not our problem.
That's not our problem. Why don't we flick back
But
to
I-
Tuesdays?
And I have so CPA is the first Tuesday. I have a conflict the second Tuesday. Parks is supposed to be the third Tuesday. But we could do, I mean.
I guess we could do the fourth.
we could
Nothing
do-
to stop us doing the fourth Tuesday of every month,
Right, or we
right?
could do 6 o'clock on the first Tuesday. If we think we're done within an hour.
That's not always guaranteed though, is it? If we've got hearings or something, if we've got people coming in. Why don't we try the fourth? Why don't we try the fourth Tuesday? And in fact, if we do the fourth Tuesday, that will actually make it a month from now.
It's true.
So why don't we do the fourth Tuesday? I will put Connie, do Tuesdays work okay for you?
At what time?
Tuesdays, well, whatever time works best for everybody else. I can pretty much do any time. Does
I
6
can-
or 7?
I can do
I-
after 7 PM or later.
I
So-
might have a standing conflict on I think the brothers are the fourth Tuesday.
Daniel,
So I think
can you hold him while I hit him?
Tuesdays are full for me.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right, so we can't do the fourth Tuesday.
Unless you can meet at 6 and I'll leave, but, I haven't been going to a lot of the brothers meetings, but I occasionally when there's events that I'm involved in. So,
Um,
I can do. So the problem with Wednesdays is I'm driving. So
no, I don't want you driving and trying to do this at the same time.
Can we do Thursdays or no?
I can do Thursdays.
So the first Thursday is water. And then the second and fourth are conservation, but we could meet at the same time as conservation. We just can't meet here.
That's fine.
So we could go to the library, we could go next
We don't
door,
actually go to conservation meetings, do we?
very rarely. So
Very
that's
rarely.
a conflict. And now I'm hoping they're going to convert that basement room because we need another simple meeting space.
Yeah.
So
We could do one of those days.
you said water is the first, Concom is the second and third,
Second and fourth.
second and fourth. Why don't we do the third? Can you do the third Thursday of every month?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to try this one. We're going to try. Daniel, do you want to just double check your calendar?
That should be fine.
All right, third Thursday.
You're gonna
Of
run it.
every
I'm
month,
gonna have a
that's
conflict
okay.
in March, but whatever.
We'll figure it. If there's an odd conflict here or there from any members of the commission, it's not like we're trying to please 50 people.
Yeah.
We're a small group. We can be flexible, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But why don't we put it in that we're going to do the third Thursday of every month
At 7.
at 7 p.m.
Location to be determined.
Yeah, location to be determined, but hopefully it'll be here, but we can figure it out.
Well, yeah, if it's the third, as long as ZBA is not here.
Right.
Um,
We'll figure it out. Okay.
so.
So John, I don't know if you can still hear me. So that would make our meeting with the local historic district, the joint meeting on the 18th of August.
Okay, I just put it on my calendar.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Text.
I will send an official invitation to them. Hopefully they can make it.
And that'll be a 7 o'clock meeting, Lynn?
That'll be at 7 o'clock, yep. And if there's any changes, I will get back to you and let you know. But currently, that's when our next meeting will be. The
Okay,
next
and I'll
meeting
check,
is
I'll
like
check the
that.
agenda too.
Yep,
I'm gonna text.
Okay,
Deborah.
great, thank you.
I think she's on vacation.
No, I just saw her this morning. She's not gone yet.
Okay. All right. All right, that's in there. So that's done. So yeah, so as far as local historic district, we obviously need to talk with the local historic commission District Commission.
Yep.
And make sure that all the paperwork is ready for submission to state.
Yep.
Um,
And planning.
I mean, I
and
think.
planning, yeah, and that's August, so that we've got to get it done in August.
Right.
All that paperwork needs to be done. If we can figure out, put together a list of what we need, what needs to be done, and then put a time and date and checklist and everything on it. At that meeting on the 18th, we can go through it all, make sure everybody knows what's got to be done, because that only gives us like 2 weeks, because we've got to get that in for like September.
Right, right.
So we should, when we send out the notice for that meeting.
Yep.
We should send out the draft of the document.
Yep.
And say, look this over, because I think, from what I recall, I believe it's pretty much good to go. There's like 1 or 2 individual properties, like
Yep.
that one that's landlocked that we need to talk about. I think
Mhm.
that was an issue that
Yeah.
was brought up at the hearing,
Yeah,
and just verify that we're all on board with what is being included or excluded and
Right.
why.
yep.
Right.
I don't think there was any major change to the overall content.
We
of the
need to
report.
get it to planning.
No,
And then
except
we need to
that,
send it to planning.
except
and-
that weren't we going to make sure that the design guidelines
Right, but that's
were
separate.
completed in
That's,
order to,
right, and that's the other issue that I think district.
Jane is
Needs-
still working on them, I think.
Right, well, I think Jane's looking at new construction stuff.
Oh, she's looking at new construction, right, sorry.
Yeah, so I'll try, we just gotta knock that out.
yeah.
Right, because
yeah,
I think, and
yeah.
that way people know what to expect, because I think there were some good questions raised at that hearing. that we
Right.
need to clean up.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously this is something people want. We want to make sure that everybody wants it. Everybody's doing what they need to do.
right.
And we've got a timeline, so we don't get embarrassed by all of a sudden saying, oh, we didn't do this or we didn't do that. Everybody's got to know what's got to be done and by when.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Anybody have any other comments so we can move on to the next item? No comments? Okay. Moving along. So the records room updates. We don't actually have any at the moment, do we,
No, we
Kathy?
don't. I am in search of another engineering firm. And I have not worked vigorously on that yet, but I will start
Okay.
this week.
I had, I called and left a message. It was a lot later than I wanted to. It was only yesterday. But I have somebody that I know that does home inspections on he only does historic properties, you know. So I actually reached out to him yesterday. And hopefully we're going to get an engineer. We've got to get this records room sorted out before the weather turns. It's got to be pretty musty in there right now, right?
Oh, it's gotta be.
You went in, right?
I haven't.
No, Kathy.
Oh, you did.
Remember that day you texted me about keys?
I went into the museum.
Okay.
So, and the light was on down in the basement. It's a little musty down there.
That light's been on since December.
Yeah, okay. So I just shut it off. No worries. I mean, it's, status quo, washout around the foundation walls but
The museum, so this is so,
at the old
are we looking
museum,
at doing a twofer here?
I don't know. I mean, if the money is
The money's there if we
available,
can do it.
I
they
think-
need a sump pump,
The museum, I think, just needs a stump pump.
right?
So we had talked about this, and it just as usual, it's one of those projects. We should just find somebody, get a price that can't cost that much money and just have it done.
Right, I agree.
I don't know who, like, I can ask Dan Gardner. We just gotta find somebody who can put that, or we just buy one, and I mean, we could buy one and dig a hole and.
What about the water though? Are there drainage issues by the museum? Like the records room or not?
Yeah,
There's
but
a lot of rodent
way to get
activity
it out.
around the foundation, so they're not in the building, but they're all
I've
around the
got a couple
building.
of snakes I can bring over.
That would just be lunch.
Oh.
Are you sure they're not in the building?
The rodents, they probably
Yes,
could
as
be.
far as I
Yeah.
can tell, but they're big ones.
well,
Oh,
think they're in every
you mean
building.
they're mice's big brothers.
Yeah, they're about that big.
So then, yeah, so they are the big ones, not the
I don't know
little,
if they're-
not the little cute ones.
I don't think they're rats, but.
You don't think they're
that's just-
rats?
No, they're busybodies. I don't know what.
Issue over there with the abutter who likes to
Grandpa.
throw their kitchen scraps out the window. because I find them in the ground all the time, and if we're thinking that's causing problems.
So they're still doing it.
Oh, every now and then on and off, and then I'm like, oh, I should say something, and then
Yeah.
Can we put a notice?
I think we might want to send them a letter and just say, can you get a compost bin?
Well,
Yeah.
you know what, next time I'm out weeding too, I can,
I kept thinking that gentleman that helped us snow blow, I was gonna ask him if he knew anybody or what was going on. But,
yeah.
I don't know, yeah, I think there's like 4 units in there.
All right, so maybe what,
Well, I did see that. You saw that email that went round from Anne about CPC funds next year, massive increase in Massachusetts.
was that last year? or
We
this-
got-
Didn't you? It's like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they put another infusion into the,
From, yeah.
Menton always does well, so I don't, we should be afraid to ask for the money that we need.
I think that,
Right.
I think it might be an idea, and I don't know how, like, Connie and Janice feel about it, but I think it might be an idea for us to have a budget meeting where we just sit down and we say, what money do we actually need? And then get quotes to back it up on whatever it is, and then present it as and when we need it. Because what's happening is we're kind of not staying ahead of the project. And then all of a sudden, the deadline comes up for money. We're not there with the project, and so we miss the money.
Right.
So,
Well, one of the benefits is that all 3 buildings have the same issue. They have water
Yeah.
penetration in the foundation. So if we can get, and I mean 3, including the only cook shop.
only cook, yeah.
So if we can
Mhm.
get all 3 of them bundled together
Yep.
and worked on, that would be a huge,
Mhm.
asset or
Yeah, it would be.
advancement for us.
That would be very cool if we
Yeah.
could do that. Okay, well, we'll keep working on it, I think.
And then we
Mhm.
did talk about Verica and looking at reinforcing the floor in the only cook shop.
Okay, yes, yes.
So I will call them out.
Yep, it's just, it's so difficult right now to get callbacks from anybody on anything.
It is, it's
Um,
impossible.
This pen's just starting on me. Yeah, it's so difficult to get replies, and then when you start explaining what you want, they kind of, oh, yeah, no, we don't do that. Or they give you the most outrageous figure,
Yeah.
in the hope that you're going to say, oh, yeah, well, we can't afford that, forget it.
Some of
So-
these places are 2 years out
Yeah.
to get work done.
And if
Or
that's,
or
if
4
that's what,
years.
or you say, yeah, 4 years, well, maybe that's what we're going to need to do,
Yeah.
is just get somebody under contract for several years and see where we go from there. Okay.
I mean, the thing like with Colonial Restoration, sometimes they can fit small jobs in between large jobs, so it doesn't take quite as long.
Yeah, that's true, Janice.
I mean, because I was registered for 4 years out, and he just did my house, so. Because I was considered a small
I
job.
think at this point, I mean, we had that quote from him that was, when you sit and go through that quote for the records room, it's incredibly high and it's a huge amount of money. But if we don't do something, we're going to be in for that no matter what.
Yeah.
So I think that we try and get this engineering survey report and everything done. And then I think maybe we call Brad back and see, what he says and if he's prepared to do anything more. The main problem at the moment with a lot of the engineering companies is they all want fees.
Right.
They're not, and I don't say as I blame them. There's a lot of work goes into a lot of this stuff, even just like a home survey or whatever. They're not going to get paid, then they're not happy.
Right.
And I get that.
Well, if we're
Um,
concerned about, if we're concerned about drainage, we should ask that company that's doing the campus here. Because that environment, that seems to be
Horsley.
Horsley Witten, I don't, the historic building stuff is not their forte, but I think green infrastructure drainage is.
Hmm.
So, everything we've dealt, they've been phenomenal. It's that Rich Clater guy, I think, is like the president.
Right.
Maybe just shoot him a message and ask him if that's something they would do a proposal for.
Right. And if they don't do it, we can.
They know
ask
other
them to
people that might.
reference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least maybe he can recommend somebody.
Yep.
Because I think that, I think the biggest issue is the water
Yeah.
and stabilizing
absolutely.
that. The other stuff, I think, we can handle.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think that sounds good. Yeah, I mean, again, I think we've got to, maybe it's time for us all to have, a sit down and say, what are going to be our priorities for next year?
Projects, yeah.
What projects are we going to do? What monies do we need? Do the whole thing, and so that everybody knows where they are, rather than just come to each meeting and then we're always behind the 8 ball, aren't we?
Right, right. And it might be easier to get in front of the voters with
Yeah.
just one,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
one request.
Right. Okay. All right. Number 5. There's been no demo requests. I haven't seen any, Dan. Right?
Nope, there's a few things that weren't demo that got flagged. Because if you pick other, but they're not demolition, it comes to us. At some point, I am gonna go through and update this to reflect the new bylaw. So we will flag every property on that list. So
Yeah.
that way we won't waste people's time if you put in a permit for other weatherization. They
Mm-hmm.
won't even come to us.
Yep.
I think I meant to ask Ellen, I forgot to ask her what the status was, if she's heard anything from the state. It sounds like they wait to the last minute, but usually that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because that means they don't have questions.
Right.
And then we just gotta
Yeah. I don't think.
update the thing.
Aren't they supposed to have responded by now?
They have 90 days.
It's April, May. No, it was May.
whatever she-
May,
I
June,
don't know,
July.
you have to ask her
Yeah.
how it works.
Okay.
All I know is the last one, she had to like remind them on the 90th day, and they were like, oh yeah, they're like way backed up because it's
Okay.
not a priority
Yeah.
to them.
Okay.
Because it's
Do you want me to check with Ellen on that, or
yeah, we can
all right?
just bug her. What time for that meeting? 7 o'clock?
Yes. Yeah, because then we can go through and put that in the bylaws, can't we?
Yeah, but then we can, I want to update that page on this, so, because it has the step-by-step process on how to apply, and we did the
Okay.
application form,
Mm-hmm.
so we gotta do, then we can talk about the letters.
Okay. So the letters out to the homeowners, I'm actually going to run that off this evening as soon as we finish this meeting. I spoke when I was talking to Jean and Ellen. I think we have,
You want to reprint it with the full date, or is it close enough? You have a date at the top.
there's no date on
Okay,
it.
they're good. So you're just gonna photocopy that.
I'm just going to photocopy
Yeah.
it.
Perfect.
Yep, just photocopying it. It doesn't, I don't think it's necessary to have a date on it, to be honest. I mean, it's going to create issues if we do. I've got all of the labels, I've got the envelopes, I'm printing the return labels on my printer at home.
Okay.
Um, so I'm just going to sit and, once these are run off, I'll just sit and do them.
Just
And then I'll
give me a
let
call,
you know, and we'll do the
and I'll show you
postage.
how to run the machine. Of course,
Mhm.
freaking 10 cents went up.
Oh, yeah.
57 cents.
Hmm. Now,
Be nice if they, and that's the metered rate.
yeah, I was going to say, that's the metered rate, isn't it? Mm.
Be nice if they sent you like a notice or something.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not
I'll-
going to complain because I don't know how much longer we're going to have a post office.
We don't say that.
What?
I said, I don't know how much longer there'll even be a post office with the way things are, with the, I don't know, we'll see, but
So I'll just.
I'll have all those letters done.
Is that ready to
this
go?
week.
How many do you need?
375.
Awesome, dear.
Okay. So I'll just sit and do those at home. And if you get bored and you need coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
You can, Lynn, you can give me some and I'll do them.
Okay. Oh, you just heard that I was making coffee, didn't you? You don't
Uh-huh.
realize how bad my coffee is.
We can all go sit in the pool.
Or come and sit in my pool and do it. The letters might get a bit wet, but that's all right. Okay, that's good. So, moving on, does anybody have any comments or questions or anything from where we are up to now? No? Okay, so sorry?
No, I'm sorry. I was just watching the kitten. Scared me, sorry.
That's okay, don't worry. Okay, so the next
Hi,
item
Lynn.
is, yes,
Hi, this is John. I did have a question. So
Yes.
what you're sending out, is that a list of the historic homes now for the demo delay? Like if you have one of those homes, is that the list you're talking about that you're sending out? Oh, that's
Right.
good. That's a good
yeah.
thing.
So it will be very good, John. hopefully, and then the plan is that everybody will have until October. Was October, I think we said, wasn't it? It's in the letter. I can always give you a copy of the letter. Well, you'll probably get
Well,
one.
we should got it. We have a bunch of properties, I think, that would
Right, you'll get
probably
one.
qualify, so we'll
Yeah,
get
and
one.
if,
Okay,
and if you don't, let me know and I can just drop one off to you.
Okay,
It
great.
literally says everybody has got until October this year. If they don't want their property to be on that list, then they notify us. We will then have until December to go through all of those properties and see, and then we'll hold a hearing. If there's anybody who wants to
Yep.
come on or off or whatever, that will be for next year. Anybody
Perfect.
who does not reply that they want their property removed, but then next year decides they do, has to write to us again, and then we will hold a separate hearing for that. So by January, I think we said, it's in the letter.
Every year, you have
It will
an
be
annual
every year,
hearing,
an
and then
annual
certainly
hearing.
anybody can request a hearing outside of that, but.
Right,
I think this will
exactly.
Probably be the
Okay.
big bulk of it. and
This
then-
will be the big one. And then hopefully by January, we will be able to publish a complete list of all of the historic homes that will be on the historic register for Mendon.
Okay, that's great. I think that's a great idea. That was my comment a couple years ago when we had one that we got in trouble for.
Yeah, we've been trying to do it, but part of it is
Yeah, it's a lot of
time.
time.
Yeah.
I
But
understand.
hopefully now this will be, a great resource for us, for the planning department, for everybody.
Yeah, even when somebody goes to buy a house, if you're on the list, at least you know you're on the list. I think that's a really good thing. So that's
Yep.
good. Okay, that was my question. I wasn't quite sure what the list was.
No, that's perfect. Thank you
All
for
right, thank
asking
you.
it.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, so we're good up till now. The update of the cemeteries projects.
Oh, Jiminy crickets. Yes, so when I read the minutes, I realized I was doing something different than I had thought. So I did look up what a steward, some job descriptions for stewards.
Yeah,
But I didn't know if we were looking for somebody to mow the lawn and cut the branches, or somebody who would be focused on general, recognizing that the lawn needs to be mowed or branches need to be
Yeah.
cut, but
think
would
that's more
focus
like-
more, would focus more on identifying the stones, trying to read them, trying to get that data done, and working on cleaning them. So before I wrote anything down, I just wanted to solidify that, because all of the job descriptions online are for somebody to, mow and hoe and cut and whatnot. So I just wanted to clarify which way we were going.
I think we were thinking in terms of like a steward, for somebody who was responsible for any inquiries about the cemetery, for making sure that if there are trees or branches down or the walls are down, that they would notify Dan or us.
Right, that's why I just
And
wanted to
that
make
really
sure.
they were
because-
they were the go-to person. So if you've got a group of people who are going to be taking care of the cemetery in terms of cleaning stones or whatever it is they're doing, they would actually talk to the steward.
Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to clarify, because I thought, I didn't think that was the way we wanted to go. It
No,
was
I mean,
more,
Who knows? If
more,
we-
more
yeah,
being
if we had a
aware
good
and,
person.
finding the resources and, documenting the stones and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will go from there and draw up a job description.
Great. I'm sorry if there was confusion in that. I mean,
Janice, I'm gonna send an email right now. I'll CC you and ask Ann Mazar if she ever had anything written down for the trails stuff.
Okay,
'Cause that might have a, like, part of what we're looking for.
okay, thank you. I mean, that's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to presume. And I also didn't think anybody would do it if they thought they had to mow an extra lawn.
Well, they might, maybe they want to spend an afternoon and pick up some brush and put it in a pile kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
really somebody to pick up the phone and say, hey, there's a problem here.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Some of these smaller ones, Janice, as well. I mean, some of them that are kind of on somebody's property or something like that.
Right.
They may,
Mhm.
if they become the steward for that particular cemetery, they may want to mow it and pick up brush and stuff
Correct.
like that and
Right.
relieve Dan of a bit
But-
of pressure too.
But I didn't see that as getting for like the majority of them that people would
No.
do that, because then you have to transport your lawnmower, which for instance, like I couldn't do.
No.
But if you live, the cemetery.
You can carry a pair of
Then it's a
scissors.
different thing.
I will
Yeah,
say.
right, which I do
direction-
actually, yes, right.
We were thinking that direction for parks as an option to look at trying to outsource some of these.
Mm.
May still be a different direction, but I
Right,
think for the
right.
most part. I do have another, I got, Sally Riondo apparently might be super interested. So I'll
Excellent.
reach out to her. And
Excellent.
Karen, she sent me a message, so I think this, Karen is interested too. So I think there's a lot of interest.
This Karen who was on the meeting?
Yeah, she said she dropped.
Oh.
But if we can come up ultimately, like we were saying before, like with some sort of a sign, but again, I think the steward should manage.
Totally.
Come up with a list,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then you can say, there's work to be done, contact one of these 5 people
Mhm.
and they'll take care of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it would be, if there was anything happening in that particular cemetery that, we weren't aware of, that the steward's aware of, that brings to our attention, whatever it might be.
Right. Right. And then I think, we want to, if they're the eyes and ears, at the cemeteries to see if there's damage or missing
Mhm.
stones or,
Right.
fallen trees, things like that. But hopefully also do the cleaning and instructionals.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got landed with that, but I think it's something that we're going to need to put together, really kind of like a document.
Yeah.
Like you say, we've got,
Well,
once we get the
yeah,
job
I mean, I can
description.
do that. I can do that for the next meeting. I just wanted to make sure I had the correct direction, which I thought was correct, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And if you want to bounce any ideas off of me or any of us, feel free to pick up the
Yeah.
phone.
Okay.
You know where I live.
Okay, all right. And so also carrying on in that whole cemetery project, Dan is going to be ordering the D2 and also getting some of the supplies that we're gonna need. As soon as we get that,
I'm sorry, who's going to order
we
that?
can-
Who's ordering that?
Dan,
Oh, he is?
And-
Okay.
yeah. So as soon
Because
as we have,
I have some people, but, we don't have anything to clean with.
right, well, we need to figure out like what and where and who is doing what. So, because we obviously don't want people just running off willy-nilly with all the stuff and until we get to it.
I'll have to
Yeah.
play. This might be something we could do in the Rec One software I use for parks,
Mhm.
where you can build like registrations and collect waivers and signups.
That would be great.
That would be pretty cool.
Like we'll have to think about having some sort of system
Yeah,
to track that.
okay.
And then people can sign up, can forward it to the appropriate person. Cause I'll have to look into that.
Well, what would be good about that is if that, if we decide we want one person on this commission to be kind of responsible or however else we're going to do it, they can get copied in on all of that information, can't they?
Yeah.
And they're getting it all. Okay. So last item, unless there are any topics not anticipated, is the brochure. And we did not bring this up at this, obviously we didn't have last meeting, but Janice had called me about it and very excited. And I think Ellen was interested too, as was the Economic Development Council, right, Janice?
Correct. They voted to support it.
Great.
So, and I talked to Tom. So I am accumulating a list of all of the businesses in town which actually are in 4 different places, which is
Yeah.
interesting. But anyway, and then I'm looking into printing it and how to print it and how to categorize it. And, you know, the concept of some of the companies might want to give coupons to draw people in because, you know, if they draw them in, it's more likely that they're going to remain their customer.
Yeah.
So the question is how to do coupons. So actually, Dan, I had a question for you. If we put it in the brochure, then, I mean, you technically need like perforated edges to be able to tear things out. But my thought was, and I don't know if this would work, if you could have like an app for Mendon Business apps with the coupon in there, and then it would disappear after you used it once. Can you do something like that and then add stuff like as you go coupons as you might want to go along or something?
There's probably,
Do you know, Dan?
there's probably something out there that could be done that may be pushing it beyond complications of what we have the ability to get into. You know, in this case, it might be better to just have like some sort of a small packet where there's 7 or 8
Right.
items,
Okay.
you know, a brochure and
Right.
with 7 or 8 coupons attached to it. Cause I think each business is going to have something they want to supply.
Right.
Almost, I mean, in a way, it's almost
Right.
like a gift basket. But that's an interesting
Right.
thought. I bet there's something out there, like a stock something, that's probably something EDC should be involved in. That's their
Who?
economic development.
Who? Oh, ask them about an app. They would
Right.
know, you think?
Like, I bet there is some sort of like thing that you could set up, like a, you know, Mendon Businesses app. There is something we can do on the website with like a directory of businesses.
Yeah. Well, I have,
I think in this
I have
case-
some of them already, and then I'm going to be getting the rest. And then I have to contact each one to see how many of them want to. That's the other thing. I don't know how many of them would want to give coupons or not, or just have their name in the book or whatever.
Well, what do we, I mean,
So,
some of them could be a coupon code. So like, you know, Acme, you know, painting company says, you know, with the code,
yeah,
whatever.
but I
we'll
think,
give
right,
something
but I
off,
think you have to
stuff
have some way
Depends on
that
the
people
business.
can only use it once. That's my concern.
Yeah. Well,
That's why
their- I mean,
if it
that's
was,
their-
The company to deal with, not us, I think. I
know.
don't think, I think,
But like
honestly,
Dunkin' or something might want a coupon.
this is like an excellent idea, but I think we also want to be careful that we don't end up being monitors for this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
well,
the
that's
whole
why I thought
idea
if there was
behind
some
this is
app
getting
that
the
would work.
homeowners.
Yeah.
Sorry?
It's correct. And, you know, and obviously the other part of it is, I'm wondering, Kathy, if like the Historical Society would be able to put together something on the history of Mendon that would be in the first part of the book, and then maybe have a blank page and we could staple in something about the person's house if it's an antique, and that there'd be somebody from maybe the Historical Society that would be willing to do the research on that and type it up as we know the homes are coming up
Yep.
Right.
for
I
sale,
think
so to
that's
speak.
a good idea.
In most
Sorry?
cases, that work is done. Yeah, no, I think that's great.
I think that's,
So,
and then we can put in there, you know, I mean, Ellen was excited about this. I know Janice told me because it will go to all new homeowners in Mendon.
I think each
Right.
department, I mean, I thought about doing this for parks and I just never had the time.
Mhm.
I think the library might do something. So almost
Well,
each
actually,
department has some blurb.
yeah,
to s-
actually, Dan, actually, yes. Part of the booklet would be to talk about your program.
Yeah, like,
And
well,
to
yeah.
talk about the
anything
library's
sections.
program and all of those. So, and then like that red alert thing. And so all of the things related to the town. I
Right.
mean, it'll probably be a booklet that'll put you to sleep at night once you start reading it.
Well, you know what,
But-
though, I think it's going to be better than that, because I think that, you know, there's a lot of people, I mean, I'll tell you now, I moved to this town 20 years ago. I had no idea about the system of government. If I needed any information on anything, I mean, I
Right.
literally was clueless about everything. I had no idea. Well, then we've got to be careful on office hours because they seem to change a lot. But no, I think that it's really cool if we can actually give that information and also try and do a little bit of encouragement about attending town meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that there's always
Right.
one, give them the date. say, you know.
Well,
the
also, well, actually, there's going to be a section on volunteers, I think, and
Perfect.
that would list, you know, like being a member of our commission, another commission, or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So,
We might want to.
yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of information
Fleshed out.
for a
We will.
small town.
Because I think they'll be all for it.
Oh, I
And
think,
you'll get some, they may have some suggestions too, a couple of them.
Who's that?
they might,
Who?
they might, but I think that and maybe, who knows, once we get this up and running, it may well be that it's a function of the select board or the select board secretary or somebody to update it.
Yeah,
Keep my comments to myself.
Yes, I would.
Um,
But I think this is a great idea. I
No, I-
really, really do.
Well, what you said earlier, I mean, I think that would be so valuable to have a document that's personalized to their house. And maybe you bought one of those new houses, you could still give them a little history of.
right,
The area that,
Well,
well, the area that was
exactly,
there.
Right,
right.
but I think
right,
that would be
right.
really meaningful.
Mhm.
I mean, there's still so many people in this town who have no idea that there was an amusement park down at Lake Grimley
Yeah.
Yeah,
for 100 years.
Yeah, yeah.
100 years.
There's,
and
you know,
just to
So-
get people.
So Kathy,
I mean,
do you think somebody from the Historical Society would be willing to put that together?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
in
crossing
fact,
that
it's
off my
probably
list.
already done, Janice.
yeah, most of the deeds are I bet 50% of the time or more, you're just gonna copy it and clean it up a little bit.
Right, right, because I think, you know, a lot of it is, you
Stuff
know,
Patrice did
been
years ago.
done.
and if there's any old
Yeah.
photographs and things, people would be absolutely thrilled to bits
Oh,
with
yeah.
that.
Yeah, if you could like do that, I mean, I
We
think.
can give them cemetery information too.
We could.
Of
put
course,
all
yeah.
kinds of websites
Yeah, all
and-
that information would be in there. I have a list of 12,000 things already.
I bet you do.
Yeah,
I think this
no
would be
biting.
awesome.
There might be some people on master plan that might be interested in helping out with this if we get to a point that we need some extra bodies. This just seems
Oh,
like
yeah.
Lisa Hilton, I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds like something. one
So
that would-
Dan, who should I talk to about the app to see if that could be done? or what?
Honestly, I think that's probably too much for right now. I think I would focus on the physical item.
Is it hard to set up an app?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we had to build something, you'd be talking $50,000 in design. I mean, it's not
Oh,
like
really?
it's.
Oh, okay. See how much I know.
There's like boilerplate stuff out there though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I bet there's something floating out there. You
Okay,
should, I
I'll
mean,
ask some of my technology friends.
give Tom Morelli a call someday. I feel like that's
Oh,
a
yeah,
thing come across his
yeah.
desk
yeah,
of, check out
Okay.
this new, like, there's something tied into Civic Plus that we use for the website that's like a outreach type thing.
Mhm.
But I think I would just start with a few businesses and see, you may get feedback from them.
yeah. Mhm.
I don't know if we know other towns that have done this. We can try and
Well, I
see
mean,
what
there
they've done.
was a long, long time ago, there was Welcome Wagon.
I mean, if we're giving
Well,
you,
actually, there still is Welcome Wagon. I found their
I
site.
think it's only in certain areas now though, isn't it?
if
I
you're
wasn't sure. I looked at some of their, what they did, so.
packet, I mean, if they're getting
Anyway.
like an 8.5 by 11 packet, I think you just ask each business to contribute a full or a half-page flyer.
Right.
And whatever that is, it's a flyer, it's a coupon.
A
it's up
flyer
to
with a
them.
coupon at the bottom,
It's up to them to
absolutely.
Supply it,
Yep,
Right, right.
and then,
free advertising.
Yeah,
maybe
I think that was a kid.
you could almost even
yeah, sorry.
look at potentially using that advertising to although if you can hand deliver it, there's really no cost.
Right,
Right.
And I think, we can ask, I think the town can eat the cost of printing 10
Mhm.
pages.
yep. I think so. I mean, I really don't,
Actually, I bet the Brothers of the Brush would be willing to deliver this.
that would be even better.
We'd have to really talk to them. If that, I don't know why, that just seems like something a certain someone would get all dressed up.
Somebody would love to do that and then he could tax the people that bought the houses.
Fickner would be all over that too.
He would be. I think
Some of those that just like meeting people and
Mm-hmm.
that would be fun.
Who would be over it? I'm sorry, who did you say would be over
I
it?
say, I bet even the Brothers of the Brush would want to get involved in like physically delivering these.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think, I mean, ideally, if it would be kind of cool to, go knock on a door and here you go. And
Welcome to Mendon.
Yeah,
No, I think this is something that's got great outreach. I really do. And I think we can use it for so many things. I mean, definitely you want to put in there if they want any information on anything that's going on. We can
Right.
talk about the historic districts.
Right.
We can put each commission, I think, and board should have, like you say, a blurb,
a page, really,
a
or a half a
page in there.
page.
And like you said, it might be bedtime reading, but if I've just moved in somewhere, I'm going to just skim through it and see what I really am interested in, and then, get other stuff
well,
later.
that's true. And the other
Well,
thing is too, in terms of trying to pull businesses, if you're new to the area and you see that there's a florist just up the road, you're much more likely to go there and give them your business. And once you go
Absolutely.
there,
Yeah,
if they give good service, then you're into the whole, do local kind of theme
Yeah.
that seems to be people pushing. So I mean, I think it's positive, and hopefully people will know where they can volunteer, and it would be nice if that would increase, because the need is there and you know exactly who to contact.
well, even things like, the senior center, it wouldn't hurt the senior center to put a calendar in there so they can let people know
The trash calendar.
everything.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm happy to help you be the contact for town departments.
perfect.
and put
Okay.
you with that. But I think I would basically ask each person to submit something, a blurb, a half page, a
Yeah.
full page, whatever it is. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a couple pages. So the society might be kicking in the house information. Historic might be kicking in the specific district
So I think
information.
like Kathy with the Historical Society, if they gave the blurb and then at the end say this was put together by the Historical Society and here's how you can become a member and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, we have that history written that we wrote for that Mendon Sings event. You probably could cut that down.
Yeah.
That's
we've
basically
also
a
got the history that's in the
3-page.
in the proposal for the local historic district in the front of that.
Right. I mean, you have a narrative for each house for a bunch of them.
Yep.
You have a narrative for the
Right.
villages. So I think it's just a matter of
Yeah, it's
compiling
good.
and then sitting down once a month and sending them out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're not talking about, 700 a month people moving into Mendon. There's probably, 10 transfers a month. And of those, a lot of them are just people transferring to trusts. So it's not really a big deal, but I think it would be great for everybody, at some point to get their hands on one of these. We could even take it back and look at people that have moved in the last 3 years,
Sure.
And
I think it's nice to give people, volunteering is a really good opportunity for
Yep.
people to get to know and get immersed.
get to
in
know
the
your
community.
neighbors,
Yeah.
everything. Yep,
So I think it's Janice, props.
yep. It's going to be a great.
Would it-
Great.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
exhausted already.
Okay, so we are done. Do we have any topics not anticipated within 48 hours? No? Dan, do you have anything else for us?
I don't think so. Is there anything else that we had to deal with?
No, this is like the big thing.
Just that.
And the local historic district getting that, got to get that, so maybe you and I can sit and
Yeah.
put
Well, I
together
think
a
if you
draft
set up the
document on
invite,
that.
I can even reply to it with just here's the draft document. Everybody look it over.
Yeah.
So we can make sure we're all good with it. That way we can just quickly go through it at the meeting and be done with it.
I think that's a good idea.
I will reply to Kim right now and tell her we're gonna do that, switch to the Thursdays.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know if they move with the meetings. But
Oh, by the way, you didn't go on the site walk for the thing, did you?
No, I didn't.
No. I don't know if anybody did.
I'm wondering if,
Wasn't it like 100 degrees that day?
We want to adjourn if we're done.
Okay, so if we are done, everybody, can I have a motion to close, please?
I move to adjourn.
I second.
Janice, second. Okay, meeting is now officially adjourned at 7:11.
All those in favor?
Oh, all in favor. Sorry, I forgot.
Aye, Kathy
Aye.
Schofield.
Janice Morse.
And
Connie there?
And I,
Yeah.
and I apologize for being late.
Oh, don't worry about it. We're good. We got through everything. Okay, meeting is closed.